Pandemic unemployment assistance heats up as more applicants try to figure out how to get retroactive benefits and escalated benefits as unemployment benefits continue to unravel. Hey everybody, this is Friday. This is LALATE. Hope you've had a great week. As always, like and subscribe to this channel and drop your comments below, and we may feature them in tomorrow's recording. And hit that alarm button on the front of this channel so you get alerts when a new video goes live. And we'll be answering all 30 of your PUA unemployment questions shortly. But first, the surprising news about one group of people who have been unemployed. Those are basketball players. The NBA announced today that they could resume action shortly, namely in late July. The proposal is games to start July 31st with either a partial or full roster of teams. Where would they be played? The proposal is to have them on Disney's Orlando campus later that month. The proposal is to have the games at Orlando Disney, or at least on part of the facility owned by ESPN. How will this work? So, one representative from the National Basketball Association spoke to CNBC and said, I think at the end of the day, we will be in Orlando at Disney. The question is going to be, will we have 30 teams or we'll have 24 of them? Whatever the name will be, end up being, but hopefully by the middle of July, we will start playing again. Reaction has been generally positive from players. Los Angeles Lakers forward Jared Dudley told players that he doesn't see anything wrong with the bubble environment. The question is how players will be housed. The proposal is some of the players could be housed within the facility or closely thereafter in the neighboring facility. In a May 21st interview, Houston Rockets star James Harden says that he would be happy playing once again when the pandemic goes down to a minimum. I want to be safe. I want to be entertaining for the fans and players to get out there and compete. As soon as we can get them ramped up, I'm ready to go. I feel like the majority of players feel the same way. This would be the first plan of action after Disney proposed their facility open to NBA teams. The question is how many teams will be playing. So let's get to pandemic unemployment assistance for everyone else. And a lot of your questions. So two of the questions that really circulated a lot this week have been the following. The first has been retroactive benefits. The second has been escalated benefits. And the last one has been that $600 check. When does it come? How does it come? Let me answer the last question. When you get your unemployment benefits under COVID-19, you'll get $600 from the federal government for the month of March and the month of July if you're impacted for all those weeks and you certified for benefits for all those weeks. That payment sometimes comes in a separate form than your local UI state benefits. It sometimes comes in a different manner, so don't worry if you haven't seen it yet. Second, escalated benefits. Escalated benefits is seeming to be lagging, as California has been the one state for California EDD that a lot of you have asked questions. I said upload documents. You can't upload documents. I said send the documents priority mail. Some of you are starting to do that. Others have said that California is starting to allow you to start processing that in late May, which we're basically at now. Finally, retroactive benefits. A lot of states have not gotten back to retroactive benefits. How does that apply? And a lot of you had questions about it. It's a very good concern. When you certify for benefits, when you file your claim and you're approved for a claim, you state when you were impacted by COVID-19. If you said it was middle March or late March because the state-owned orders issued by your state or local jurisdiction, then that's your period. When your eligibility, when your claim shows as eligible within the portal, it says your range of dates. It's generally that date to December 31st, 2020. Okay, so but you applied at April 28th. That's in the future. How does this work? So those first few weeks that are backwards, retroactive benefits, some states have just not gotten to them yet. So don't worry. All right, so let's get to your 34 questions on PUA and unemployment benefits. Lopez Perez, up with this $450 you can make with a payment for your ventilator. LALATE detailed yesterday a proposal by Senator Portman, who's a Republican, who wants to get you back to work and still pay you benefits, a reduced amount, not $600 from the federal government, but $450 from the federal government. Keith Johnson, question, if you're self-employed and go back to work, do we gig workers qualify as well? So yes, I mean, he was referring to the Portman plan. The Portman plan would pay you, whether you're a UI or a PUA or gig worker, money to get back to work. So you would get your check from your employer plus or your self-employed check, plus 450 for a weekly benefit from the federal government. It's a great idea. Coca-Cola. I finally got my Ohio PUA process. Thank goodness. Now I have to wait for the deposit. Thank you again, LA, for updates. Well, thank you. Stay with us for more. Stay with this video because there's some big details coming. And watch that second stimulus check video today as well. Audio VNX. I just got certified for PUA LALATE. I filled in my DDD info, but started out, and I still have yet to get a separate debit card. How long does it take? I'm in Philly, by the way. Debit cards take a couple of weeks. And you can track them. Most of the states indicate how long it takes on their website. Add additional weeks on top of that for the pandemic. But now that we're sort of, offices are opening on a more regular basis, expect those numbers to be a little bit more stabilized. Kim Strem, hey, LA, I love your channel. Well, thank you. I'm in Illinois. I believe I know the answer, but I hear so many different times. I want clarification. I have a full-time job for which I'm thankful to be able to work remotely during the pandemic. I'm also a part-time realtor with a decent amount of income from the side job. Since the pandemic, my real estate business has dropped to zero. Will I qualify for PUA despite being working for the full time? Please confirm it. Thank you and stay safe. No, I mean, that's really not the spirit of PUA. If your lead job in 2019 was employee, not an independent contractor, then no. Fish Chris, okay, I have two questions. Will I still be able to collect my $600 plus regular PUA employment until the end of July? Yes. If you are already approved for PUA in your local state and you're still impacted by COVID-19 into the month of July, you could certify for benefits all the way up to there, and you get those benefits until the month of July. Would this 450 week of payment go until January 21? He's referring to the Portman plan. Again, it's a proposal. It's not a law yet. It's a proposal. Yes, that's what Portman's proposing. So if so, I would think it'd be fantastic. Yes, I agree to sue. I'm totally anxious to get back to Uber driving, but I think I'm really concerned about I will make crap when a lot of other drivers are driving again. Also, extra 450 a week would make that acceptable. Very well said. That's what Portman is referring to. He's basically saying, hey, I understand people are going to get back to work, but there'll be less work. There'll be less income. There'll be less activity. Doors will open, but there may not be the type of activity you had, and you're not going to make your payments. You're not going to make your bills. He wants to give you $450 to make your bills. He does not want you to stay home and just collect to dilute your state of its unemployment benefits of PUA, because that pays you more. He wants you to rather be at work and off the state benefits, and that the government will pay you $450 a week. Great idea. I really think it's a great idea. Unseen Hero. They actually kind of do right now that you keep up the work and 25% of your pay, but $600 in your UI, don't really know the difference. H2O. I got the PUA, but I still haven't gotten back pay from April. Will I get it? Yes, absolutely. H2O. What state are you in? Drop in the comments below. Steven Sumrow. Great idea if all these jobs came back at the same time. So he's referring to the Portman plan. But the numbers show 40% of the jobs will not return. Then the job markets ramp up slowly because many will not return pure lockdown and shopping habits. Well, yeah, I mean, if you don't have your job back, you stay on unemployment. Now, here's the concern. I understand what he's addressing. He's saying that, hey, if I'm still unemployed, what's going to happen? Federal government's not going to help me. That's sort of the backdrop of Portman. If Portman assumes you have a job, if you don't have a job, what happens? Well, under the HEROES Act, the Democrat plan, they're to pay you $600 per week all the way into January 2021. Portman has no backup, so if you don't have a job, Portman doesn't help you. Bruce Garcia. Socialism, here we go. Debt to the federal government, we will never be able to pay back. No, absolutely we'll be able to pay back. How does this work? This is the way it works. The federal government can write money. It can write money. The way it funds the writing of the money is it issues T-bonds. It issues federal bonds that people want to invest with. They buy them because they have great interest rates. They put them in the bank and they get interest on their money. That's how the federal government makes money on their money. They absolutely can afford it. Derek Fino, thank you for answering my question, Alec. Well, thank you, Derek. Unseen Hero, I love your channel. I'm always excited because of your bombshells. At least in my state in Nevada, I have to repeatedly be told SBA's call center is a disaster district head, and I spoke directly to the governor's office and called them. In fact, I can't get anywhere. Thank you, Unseen. I mean, stay with it. Stay with us. I want to know what happens to you, Unseen. David Miles, hello again. And question yesterday, which you read, regarding if the system counts the time I had to go through denied twice. Oh, here's the Florida guy. So it is David Miles who in Florida, which has been that hotbed. So if you've not been watching our PUA all this week, several states were hacked, several states are not live, several states are just falling apart. One of them is Florida. Florida requires, according to David, requires 2 denials before you get to PUA, 2 denials of unemployment. So I've been paid for the first 2 weeks of PUA, both UA and PUA benefits. However, the site paid me only for the weeks of 510 and 517. Well, I see this, I'm wasted knowing I'll get denied going back to March, being retroactive payments. It seems like I'm only going to count the weeks that I applied for PUA. I applied for UI back in March. I'm self-employed. Great channel. Thank you, David. I hope I'm not reading what I think I'm reading. It sounds, David, that you're getting paid for PUA and UI at the same time in the same week. I hope not. You can't do that. You can get paid. You can certainly have PUA in 1 week and UI in another week, which is very, very, very screwy. But yes, you're entitled to retroactive benefits. I'm just very worried that you're in 2 systems and approved in 2 systems, which doesn't make sense. I would get someone on the phone and get that fixed. I don't want you to get in trouble. It just sounds really wacko. Not your fault. Not your fault. It's a system. Salsa Sokolowski. I love that. Yes, finally got my first check yesterday for 3 payments of $13.50. I'm not sure if I'll get the $600. My last work was on April 22nd. Yes, you will. It'll come separately. What state are you in, Salsa? Drop in the comments below. May 2. Anyone in California accepted for PUA but no debit card or payment? No, they receded. There's another viewer in this channel who's not received their EDD card. In California, they send the unemployment sends a debit card. Another viewer in this channel, I think it's Eileen. Or Leanne, Eileen or Leanne, says they have not gotten theirs as well. I would follow up. There's something wrong. It's been too long. Make a mova, who comments all the time. I think extra money should be given when people return back to work. If you're making more money on unemployment right now, you were underpaid before. So I love the idea of giving extra funds when people get back to work. Although I think extra unemployment would put people mainly in people who are, she says, get people back to work, supplement their work. That's a great idea. I really agree with her too. Payam Ferrari. I love the idea too. He likes the Portman idea. But if we can't get back to work, if this virus is still worse and the doors closed, then we still want the $600 a week. Yes. I mean, this is another issue that this channel has been really hitting hard on, is that there seems to be this sort of either A, they don't want to deal with it, or B, they don't think it exists. There is this second wave coming in the fall. No one in this group thinks that they need to deal with it yet now, or think they will ever have to deal with it. When I get to the second stimulus check video shortly, you're going to see that the Honorable Mitch McConnell from Kentucky says, you will never see another stimulus package for this pandemic ever from this Congress. This is the last one. Mitch, that is not going to work if the second pandemic comes this fall, and it's much worse than the first. I mean, it's the same one, the second wave, Mark Green Insight, office supply. $445 per week go back to work. To work is a joke. People are still looking for jobs weekly, average $4 million, with 42% of jobs not coming. This idea is a complete joke. What are the parents who have schools all jacked up? So, he has a great point, which is Portman only works for people who have jobs. So it's just Senator Portman, what about the people who don't have jobs? What are you going to give for them? Nothing? Sean Lass, the only issue with extra money to get a job or go back to work is having a job. If you have no job, the money's pointless. There you go. Says beautifully, Sean. The issue is so many people are getting more money than they were getting used to. The issue of money is to go back to work until the end of July. Curious Anon. I'm in Ohio. I didn't give them the extra tax return. I'm a gig worker. Minimum base $189, $600. Mine is Q1. Interesting. Lois Horrible. Yes, horrible. I filed Louis Johns. Yes, horrible. I filed May 29th to receive my first payment May 27th. Well, I'm glad you got it. That's really good news. So, here is the consensus. What do you think? We have gone all the full gamut this week on PUA. As you know, and I'll recap. The PUA currently in place under the CARES Act expires that $600 in the month of July. The HEROES Act, the Democratic House bill, now in the Senate that's probably not going to go anywhere, wants you to pay you that PUA $600 and also UI benefits of $600 per week to January 2021. And then Portman says, hey, I'll give you 445, you get back to work. Well, what if you can't get back to work? What do you think? Drop your comments below. I know you have your comment. I know you have lots of comments to this. And stay for LA for more.